recording. So hello everybody. I am Brenda Bailey, your resident Theta healer here on our Moon Gatherings call, and Ralph Macintyre, who is our Evolutionary Astrologer and Astrocartographer. So this is a webinar that we do twice a month. The first Wednesday of the month for the new moon, the third Wednesday of the month for the full moon. And just so y'all know, we are within the 48 hours of the full moon. So all this information is very current. And of course, anything that you want to shift, we're still within that realm, you know, that pocket. So we just felt that it would be easier for everyone to be able to get notifications and to be able to join us and put it on your calendar. So we were at first kind of doing it whenever it fell, and that wasn't working for me. I think Ralph's more flexible than me, thank goodness. So, so we went in and changed it. So welcome to the Moon Gatherings. Welcome to the Sagittarius full moon with Brenda Bailey and Ralph Macintyre. So if you would like to be a part of our Facebook group, which really just kind of keeps you in the know, you want to hit www.joinmoongatherings.com. The next moon gathering is right before the 4th of July, so that ought to be really cool. Won't that make for an interesting 4th of July? That will be Wednesday, July 3rd, always the first Wednesday of the month. When you are on the webinar, you will get all this information emailed to you as well. So, but if you're not, take a little picture of this and you can, with your phone, and you will be able to register at that URL. And that is actually supposed to be, I believe I have the wrong date there for the full moon. That would be today. So it's actually going to be July 20th, guys. So just so you know, ignore the date on the full moon here. It's July 20th. That is the third Wednesday of the month. And that would be to register. That's the URL. So this is Ralph's information here. If you would like to see what he has to offer, go to www.astro-map-links.com. He always has this very generous offer of 50% off of his complete world map, which is this very cool interactive 3D map, nothing that you've ever seen with astrocartography. 50% off price is $25, so it's a great deal. Again, this is the link here.
Yes, yes, yes.
If you would like to know more about me, this is a listing that I have in a national holistic directory. If you would like to know more about ThetaHealing, that is a video that I've had made here on YouTube. And if you want to know about what I can offer to you and the difference between like sessions and classes and coaching and programs, it's on that link there. And if you would like to, I have also a Facebook group that's just about belief works, and that can be, the link for that is joinblastyyourbeliefs.com. And then let's see. And again, if you'd like to be part of our new moon group, joinmoongatherings.com, and you'll hear about everything. So I am coming back onto the chat. We have some hands raised, and let's see what we've got going on here. So let's see. Twin-hearted message, Tia Oliver said. Heart of twin flames, somebody else said on that question that you asked, Ralph.
All right. So once again, listen to me very carefully. So Google might be your friend here. What does it mean, key part of this, to have a solar return chart on the full moon? And then the answer is going to start with an H, And the question is from your resident Gemini. Brenda, you're cheating.
Oh, I'm actually, because somebody contacted me saying they couldn't find the link, so I know I should like just have my like picture up because I'm like trying to.
No, it's all good.
I know. Ralph just gets to sit there and look pretty. This is the deal, man. So, and then he asks like these questions that he wants us. He's making us jump through a lot of hoops, folks. I think you ought to get started. Get this party started, Ralph.
All right. Hey. So, we are here under the full moon. The emotional light in the sky as bright as it gets. So one of the interesting things, I hope people have been getting a chance to look out at the sky right now and notice that there's a bright star that's been sitting there near the moon. And the astrological chart or astrology, the charts that we look at are really a representation of the sky. So when I look at an astrological chart on a piece of paper and I see the moon and I see Jupiter conjunct, I can go outside at night and look up at the sky and see the moon and then this big bright star, which is Jupiter. So this is a very, 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 very significant transit, in my opinion, right now, largely because of the trick question. And also because, well, if you've been coming to any of these talks, you know that I've been talking about some of the big themes that we're dealing with and some of the smaller themes. And the big theme, the overarching theme for me right now is Neptune and Pisces. You know, these moon gatherings are on the quick moons cycle, but those are interwoven into the larger cycles. So Neptune and Pisces is kind of what this is all being asked of us right now. And pure Neptune and Pisces is connecting into the divine. Neptune is the window into the divine, the window into what is possible. It's kind of losing these earthly limits and reconnecting into the spiritual center, spiritual reality. And interestingly enough, as Neptune is the window into that spiritual reality, the planet Jupiter, the sign Sagittarius, is kind of the way that we embody it. It's the way that we bring it into the world. So Neptune's all that's possible, but Jupiter's where we're lucky. Jupiter's where we underestimate ourselves, meaning we don't see our full potential. And from a Piscean Neptunian perspective, we all don't see the full potential. Matter of fact, if we did see the full potential, very likely it would turn us into drooling, you know, crying mental cases because our brains, our reality isn't quite capable of handling it at this point. And that's where Jupiter and Sagittarius kind of roll into the game, in the sense that Jupiter is kind of bringing that Piscean, Neptunian energy into the physical reality. Jupiter represents knowledge, what we know, how we express it. It's where we're lucky. And so the full moon, Jupiter are sitting up in the sky together right now. And the moon is very significant in the sense that there's a bunch of things that are in the planet, in the ruler of the moon, Cancer. The most significant is the north node of the moon. So just to recap that, the north node of the moon is our soul's destiny. It's where we are, it's kind of where we're going. It's also where we're, so to speak, dumb as dirt. And the reason why we use the word dumb as dirt, and we say that, is because if you think about it, if you come down to this planet and you're here taking a class, you're taking a class because you're inherently don't know. You're ignorant about the subject. And so the North Node is the class that we're all taking. So the North Node for all of us in the sky is in the sign of Cancer. So Cancer is emotional nurturing. It's our connection to our emotion, but it's really how we truly nurture ourselves, how we feed our soul, how we recharge, how we do everything that kind of allows us to be out in the world. From a karmic perspective, from a staying present, this Cancer and the feeling, you know, and the ability to stay present in the feelings and not run to the stories is so important for soul development. And it's also super available to us right now, meaning that the sky is set up in such a way for all of us on the planet right now that it's a good time to really do your feeling work. Let go of past things. It's one of the reasons why I agreed to do this with Brenda. I think it's the reason why Brenda and I were brought together, was because this is such a powerful time to work with the sky, to allow yourself to let go of all the blocks that are holding us back. So Sagittarius, you know, Jupiter, a lot of people think Jupiter is a really lucky planet, and Jupiter can be really lucky, but Jupiter, what Jupiter does is it expands what it touches. It makes it big. So, you know, sometimes expanding things are lucky. You know, when it's your bank account, you feel pretty lucky. When it's your pants size, you're not so lucky. And Jupiter's kind of, that's the realm of
all relative, yeah.
yeah, you know, it's Jupiter's like, yeah, $10 or, you know, $100 is better than $10, and 2 donuts is better than 1, you know? Come on, let's go big. Why just, and that's kind of where Jupiter, but Jupiter's also the land of opportunity. So a lot of people think, oh, I have a positive Jupiter transit, I'm going to be great. Let me sit on my couch and let the luck happen. And that's really not how Jupiter works. The way Jupiter works is there's opportunities. So the issue with opportunities is it requires you to take action. So it's like if you have an opportunity for a great job or a great new job, if you don't take the effort to look for a great new job or put yourself in a position where people looking for a job might find you, you know, you can sit on your couch and say, oh, these astrologers, they don't know what they're talking about. They said I was going to be lucky, but, you know, I'm still watching the same reruns. So Jupiter, the moon sitting up in the sky, ruling the, you know, that moon, lighting it up, making it super bright, kind of accentuating the emotional connection to our knowledge. And that's kind of the realm that I want to, if you haven't known me, that's kind of the realm I always want to go down. It's like, what's the deep emotional meanings? It's kind of my, that's my favorite subject matter in general. But so.
Which is why he gives such a great chart reading.
Yes, it does. So.
He agrees with me.
I do. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah.
He does say so himself.
You do realize that the only reason why I do this group is because I get to say yes, yes, yes. Anyways, so you guys have to be careful because I'm highly distractible being a Gemini, and especially right now. So, and I have a lot that I want to say. So, knowledge, wisdom, Jupiter. So, expressing knowledge, wisdom, you know, it doesn't take a rocket scientist or much self-awareness to realize that your emotions play such a big part in how you express your knowledge, whether or not you even talk about it, how you say it, all these different things. You know, it's like, am I good at this? You know, a lot of times it's like not a question to ask self. You know, I'm a full believer of whenever I need to ask if I'm good at something, I don't ask myself because the answer that I say is not in, is tied into all sorts of different things, not necessarily tied into what I really know. So this is a big theme for us right now. So interestingly enough, we have this very powerful bright moon sitting up there in the sky in Sagittarius. Now that's a pretty big transit just in general. It's a relatively quick transit, but to have it conjunct Jupiter at the same time really kind of accentuates it. It blows it up. It turns it into a much bigger deal. And so one of the big things that we're kind of doing this summer is we are letting go of karmic beliefs, karmic habits, karmic, subconscious blocks and all this stuff to open up our heart, to feel, to be present, to express our wisdom, to kind of take it to a next level. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to realize that people's out of control need to express emotions in a hateful way seems to be rampant right now. This is kind of the option right now. It's like you're either really present, working with the stars, which generally means sitting in uncomfortable feelings, getting out of the story, and allowing the wisdom of the feeling to unlock what really is going on. And so the more you spend time sitting in feelings, and generally speaking, the uncomfortable ones, they don't always have to be uncomfortable, but a lot of times they can be perceived as uncomfortable or intense or powerful. The label of uncomfortable is kind of us putting a label on something. It's really more powerful expression is a better label of it. So interestingly enough, Jupiter right now in the sky is at 18 degrees, which of Sagittarius. Neptune in the sky right now is at 18 degrees of Pisces. And so 18 degrees of Sagittarius is square 18 degrees Pisces. So the planet of the spirit world's Neptune in its own sign is square the bringing that world into this physical world, Jupiter in its own sign. And this is going to be that case for a little while. These planets are kind of moving together. They've been kind of dancing together for a little while. And so there's a way in which this is going to energize us. It's going to light us up. It's going to fire us up. It's going to really kind of bring in that, ethereal, Neptunian, everything that's possible, your connection to your psychic powers, all of this. And part of what's happening is as we get a larger dose of psychic information, one of the big challenges is to turn that psychic information into wisdom, into knowledge, and that's where Jupiter comes in. That's where Sagittarius comes in. And Sagittarius speaks with confidence, is Sagittarius' route. And the Neptune world very, very, very rarely comes in with certainty. It's not like, I got this clear message. this is 100% exactly what it is. It's more like, oh, I have this feeling, and I'm wondering if this is the case. And then Sagittarius is kind of like, come on, if you got a feeling, it must be right, you know, because Sagittarius wants to say, this is what I know. Hey, look at me, this is what I know. I know. That's Sagittarius. And Neptune's kind of like laughing. It's like, oh, you think you know. And so there's this dance between what the spirit world is bringing in and what we're able to assimilate into our knowledge base, utilize. And the moon is sitting there conjunct Jupiter and also interacting with the sun. So it's a very powerful, illuminating transit. And this is kind of going to, this is sitting right dab in the middle of all these other cycles, all these other transits. So Brenda, I don't know if you're doing something, you're making quite a racket over there. Thank you. So the moon, ruled by Cancer, ruling the north node of the moon, is also ruling the planet Mercury, our communication, our voice, how our mind thinks. It's also ruling Mars right now. Mars is our assertiveness. It's how we get up and get things done. It's our, Mars is that line between predator prey. It's like, am I being assertive or am I being a victim? Am I facing my fear? Am I expressing what I need to express? So one of the key words with Mars is appropriate response, meaning what is the appropriate response? Not the, didn't say nothing until I got upset, now I blow up and take your head off response. But it's kind of like, oh, stepping up in the moment, regardless of how scary it is, to, really share your feelings. And so this is the North Node. This is attached to the North Node. This is all the area that we're, so to speak, dumb as dirt in. This is the area that we're learning. This is the area that's available. So there's a lot of really powerful energy in the sense that our mind, our Mercury, is in conjunct the North Node, and Mars is sitting there conjunct the North Node as well. And those are very personal planets. It's so interesting is that right now, Mercury is opposed Saturn and Mars is opposed Pluto. And so our ability to communicate and our desire for structure, our need to have sustainable effort, the way kind of father time, it's kind of the physical reality. It's kind of like, this needing to build things, the structure of life, the structure of society. Saturn a lot of times can get a bad rap. And as an evolutionary astrologer, very seldom do I give Saturn a bad rap. But when anything is conjunct the South Node, it's conjunct the things that we got wrong or the things that didn't go well. It's anytime we're talking South Node from an evolutionary perspective, we always think of the negative. So we're thinking about the negative parts of structure, and a lot of that has to do with, are we acting out of fear and running from our emotions? Is kind of one way to look at that. Is the structure of our life really helping us live in the present in our emotional world? It's another way. And so Mercury and Saturn are dancing, the way we think, the way we communicate, dancing with that Saturn in its own sign. And then this is all also being fully energized by that Jupiter moon conjunction. So it kind of like Brenda made a comment about this full moon being a big one. Everyone's writing about it. Everyone's talking about it. And it's not so much that the full moon is a big full moon. It's everything in the sky kind of being triggered by this full moon. You know, we've been sitting in this Pluto-Saturn South Node conjunction retrograde. It's most of the summer. And most of what I'm finding, a lot of people are finding this transit be for them, is that it's the availability of feelings that have been blocking them. You know, it's kind of things that are in the subconscious that come out in feelings or reactions to certain situations. And a lot of times the way to find this is watch what's lighting you up. If something is bothering you or agitating you more than usual, step out of the story and look at the underlying feeling. This is really what this transit for this summer is asking. And the more you do that, the more you can really unfold. You can get to the bottom of it, clear it, move past it, assimilate that wisdom, because the underlying feeling is where that Cancer wisdom is. The story is where all the drama is. You know, it's like letting go of the story, not blaming, oh, this person did this is why I'm upset. It's like, oh, I get agitated when people do certain things. Why is that? Let me sit in the agitation. Let me breathe into it and move past it. So this is kind of what's available for us this summer. This full moon is kind of, to me, is a great catalyst to kind of help us unfold, help us to dive into the rest of the summer and really unlock the full potential. You know, and Jupiter, where we're underestimating ourselves, where are we holding our wisdom back? Jupiter and Sagittarius, where are we not stepping forward? You know, and then tied into that moon, Mercury, Mars, North Node in Cancer. You know, it's like, where are we using our voice to nurture ourselves? Where are we using our assertion to nurture ourselves? And one of the things that I have been noticing a lot for myself as I sit with this is that when I'm kind of reacting from my lower ego, when I'm kind of reacting from my subconscious or my scared or my karmic habits, I tend to use my voice in a way that's not conducive to nurturing me. You know, and this can come out in all sorts of different ways. It's like expressing feelings in areas that, in situations where they're not welcome and they're not appropriate. You know, kind of, you know, having a reaction to someone and feeling like you need to say something to them in situations where it's really not very productive and somewhat harmful to self. You know, and that's kind of where that Cancer Mercury dance, you know, oppose that Saturn Pluto. It's kind of like, where is our subconscious, where is our past life habits affecting how we communicate, how we nurture ourselves, how we assert ourselves? You know, it's very good time to sit in that, to look at it, deeply look and dive into that realm. So let me look at my notes really quickly here. So I want to talk a little bit about retrograde planets, and from the perspective of Earth, that occasionally planets will appear to be going backwards in the sky. And from an astrological perspective, we use the term retrograde. So the first thing I want to say is that the mainstream community has taken retrograde and kind of blown it somewhat out of proportion, and kind of make a huge thing. And it's not that it's not a huge thing, but it's not a huge thing in the way that most of the mainstream astrologers talk about it. And the way it's a huge thing, it's about retrograde is about looking inward. It's about inward focus. It's inner reflection. It's the answers come within. The opportunities come within is another way of looking at it. So it's like, remember how I was talking about Jupiter and the opportunity? If it's like if you want a new job, you have to look for it or put yourself out there. So it's like if you want to unlock your wisdom, look inward. Don't look outward, but look inward is kind of what this planet's asking. And interestingly enough, Saturn and Pluto are also inward, retrograde, looking inward. So it's where are the structures, that Saturn structure, our inner, the way we structure our life, our habits, so our discipline. How is that really serving us? I have an interesting relationship with that word discipline. And I have been noticing a lot how my desire to not have a lot of discipline interacts and gets me into situations that are not necessarily very good and nurturing to myself. And unpacking where the subconscious, where the inner child wounding and all of that interacts is kind of what these transits are asking. Excuse me. All right. So we have Jupiter retrograde. Where's our knowledge? Where's our wisdom? Looking inward. Saturn, our structure. How we discipline ourselves, all of that, look inward. Pluto is an interesting planet. Pluto is the great truth seeker of the zodiac. Pluto always wants the truth, regardless of how hard it is to hear. Pluto is also our true soul's desire. It's our true power. Pluto, the truth that Pluto wants to have us hear is that we are truly powerful, perfect manifestations of spirit, God. Stand up and roar, own your full power. And so Pluto, Saturn, Jupiter, sitting retrograde right now, is asking us all to really look inward. And one of the things that can kind of help you narrow the focus is the other end of this conjunction, the north node of the moon, Cancer, feelings, and so right now we have our voice, Mercury, Mars are sitting there. But so I want to kind of do a little non sequitur here. I'll come back to this, but I want to kind of, I made a notice. I noticed something that was happening in this particular transit that I thought was very interesting. So the zodiac, or the planets in the sky, are divided into two groups. And one is called the inner group, Jupiter, Mars, Venus, Mercury, Moon, Sun. Those are called personal planets. And then outwards from Jupiter, it's Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. And so those are the outer, or the generational planets. So it's like everyone born, in the 60s, or everyone born in your generation typically have outer planets that are in the same sign. So, you know, everyone born within 10 years of my birth date had Pluto in Virgo. You know, everyone born within that time also had Neptune in Pisces. So the generational planets and the inner planets. And so the inner planets are kind of the more personal. They really relate directly to you. You know, very, very few people have Sun in Gemini, you know, or, you know, Mercury or any of these inner planets. You know, the combination is very few, you know, versus pretty much everyone born in the 60s had Pluto in Virgo, Neptune in Scorpio, you know, versus, so the reason why I want to kind of give you this astrological lesson is because the transiting North Node in Cancer, all of the interpersonal planets will at one point conjunct that. In this summer, so right now we have Mercury and Mars. Next gathering, the Sun will be there, and then eventually Venus will be there. So all of the personal planets have been conjuncting the North Node in Cancer. And most of the outer planets have been either dancing around Pluto and the South Node or sitting in retrograde, kind of opposing them. None of the outer planets will get near the North Node in Cancer. So I think the significance about that is that our inner wisdom, looking in, looking at self, looking at our own emotional reactions as the guide to what is really going on with our own inner process. It's kind of what's going on here. So, let me see, let me look at my notes.
So much more than the full moon. He gives us so much information. I know everybody's just like,
yeah,
fake self.
This is a powerful one. So someone's got to have figured out what a solar return chart is. Everything else was kind of distracting, but anyways, that's why I'm so fired up too, by the way. So we have an opportunity, and also it's kind of interesting. I'm looking at what's happening in the sky. At the same time, I'm looking at what's happening on the planet. And I'm looking at, so we're looking at our emotions and how they really nurture us, how we take action, how we assert them, and are we nurturing ourselves? And are we, you know, coming out of fear? Are we coming, you know, dictating from society's structure, all this kind of, you know, stuck outer planet energy versus our own inner peace and inner knowing? And I sit in that and I'm like, okay, well, obviously speaking, it's like we're about to jump into the presidential year from hell. I mean, I didn't say that. A presidential election. So one of the things that I would like to suggest is to look at what you are compelled to say. What are you compelled to repost? What are you even compelled to read? Is it really nurturing you? You know, it's like, I have been finding myself that it's a good time to stay off of Facebook. It's a good time to be really careful of what I allow in, what kind of emotional triggers and where it goes. You know, am I using my words to, you know, kind of bolster my lower ego to give me a false sense of pride of knowing? Or am I using my words to truly nurture myself? It's really kind of what's up for us. This is what's up in the sky. And interestingly enough, we're going to have a year where we're going to get a big opportunity to really practice and test that, you know. And so as you notice your emotional state get agitated, look back at your previous actions. And are your previous actions kind of walking you to an agitated state, or are they walking to a calm state? Are you getting stuck in the story rather than getting in touch with the true feeling? So I've been working on something that's been kind of coming to me for a while here around Facebook. It's not quite done, but I'll share it with you. And so here's the question that I'd like to kind of, or here's the statement that I'd like to kind of put out. What you post about someone you dislike is a window into your true nature. So it's kind of like what you're willing to say about someone you don't like, don't agree with, is illuminating a part of you that you might want to look at right now. All right, T. All right, come on. I'm also very
getting outside of your home. So that's what somebody posted. They want to know if that's the answer.
Okay, so what does a solar return chart mean? Someone started with it. Somebody got an H word that was the beginning.
Horoscope, harvest, happy returns.
Solar return chart. Are you guys gonna make me tell you?
Happy birthday!
Yay! The winner is
Dana Kilgore.
Yes, yes. So, how cool is it to have your birthday on the exact same day as this powerful full moon? I thought that was kind of cool personally, but you know, I'm kind of biased. I can't help myself. And I was also thinking, it's like, okay, Brenda, you don't realize when you give a Gemini a microphone and tell them to talk, and you know, so I was thinking, it's like, I might have to tell Brenda to like kick me if I start going for like 3 or 4 hours straight.
I know. This is the longest that you've talked in a long time, Ralph.
When I'm trying.
Most of the time he's like talking for like 20 minutes and then he's like done. I'm like, okay. But tonight, he's on a roll.
I could go on for days on this particular transit, but I think I will put it up to, if anyone has any questions.
They want to know, when is your birthday, Ralph?
Jeez, I'm not going to give you a straight answer. That question has been asked and answered. What does it mean to have your solar return chart on the full moon on your solar return chart?
Was it the 17th? That's so it was Monday? Was your birthday?
Yes. And that is part of the reason, or is the main impetus of me or putting this gift forward as a gift. As it's my birthday, I got to do what I want to do. So I'm giving a gift to all of you. So yes, my birthday was Monday night.
Oh.
Yes. And I already told you I was born in '66, so you guys can do the math if you want to ask any other questions.
Happy birthday, they're saying.
Thank you. Yes. So does anyone want to put this into their own personal chart? by like saying, oh, we got this in my chart here, or does anyone have any direct questions before we go over to Brenda and do some
changes?
yeah. No strawberries in the desert. No strawberries.
That's right. Ralph's out in the desert, guys. If y'all didn't know that about him.
Yeah.
All right. So speak now, forever hold your peace. Before we get some theta healing belief work done, is there any questions or anything that y'all have for Ralph before we move on? Going once. Going twice. All right. Okay. So, so we're going to have a lot of work because of what all Ralph shared. Thank you, Ralph. As I start burping already. So just so y'all know, people can tell me how they think and how they feel. What you create in your life is what you believe. And we hold that at a cellular level. So the technique that I use is called ThetaHealing. And it is collaborating with my higher power, which God is for me. Whoever it is for y'all, it's fine. Like I always say, you can just substitute whoever that is for you. And we make changes at a cellular level. So we're not just, we're changing DNA when we do the theta healing work. It is a very complementary modality, but it is also a very respectful modality. And no work will be done unless you actually say yes out loud. And so Ralph will lead you in that. Even though he thinks that I fuss at him, it's okay.
Yes,
so,
yes.
So this is what we're going to look at. And so keep in mind that we'll either get definitions that are in alignment with creators, that we know what they feel like, that they are possible and that they are safe. That's what we do when we do definition work, when we do free-floating memories. So you'll hear me say, let's remove the free-floating memories from the original event. When we have trauma, we create free-floating memories that we carry with us. And what that does is it either acts as a magnet to attract the same type of trauma, or it will cause us to project onto an event that has nothing to do like the trauma, but we make it that, we feel that way. So when we remove the free-floating memories from the original event, we actually are neutralizing it. That will allow us to be more present, allow us to be more objective, and allow us to be non-reactionary. So, and again, I know that when I say being objective and non-reactionary may sound boring to some people, but it's actually where our growth comes and allows us to move forward and allows us to not let the stuff that doesn't really matter bother us. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Always make sure that there are 3 basic beliefs that everyone has before we do any work. And I see that we have a few new people. Yay. They're going to get part of the free gift from Ralph when we get done by being on the webinar. So those 3 basic beliefs are: I want an instant healing, I deserve an instant healing, and an instant healing is possible. Because what we do with theta healing is very quick. I want to make sure that you can get it as quickly as it would like for it to be for your highest and best good. So I want an instant healing, I deserve an instant healing, and instant healing is possible. If you would like those, just say yes out loud.
Yes, yes, yes.
Thank you, Ralph. So I want to remove the free-floating memories from the original event that prevents us from looking into, for opening, let's say that again. We're going to remove the free-floating memories from the original event that prevent us from opening our window into our spiritual reality. And then we're going to also remove the free-floating memories from the original event that we're obligated to underestimate ourselves. We want to remove the free-floating memories from the original event that prevent us from seeing our full potential. And we want to remove the free-floating memories from the original event that prevent us from handling our true reality. We want to remove the free-floating memories from the original event that prevent us from being aware and knowing our knowledge and being able to express it. We want to remove the free-floating memories from the original event that prevent us from being lucky. And we want to remove the free-floating memories from the original event that prevent us from following our soul's destiny. So let's go ahead and do that round first, shall we? So if you'd like those, just say yes out loud.
Yes, yes, yes.
All right, and then we are going to remove the free-floating memories from the original event that prevent us from having emotional nurturing. And we want to remove the free-floating memories from the original event that prevent us from feeding our soul. We want to remove the free-floating memories from the original event that prevent us from stepping into the land of opportunity. And we want to remove the free-floating memories from the original event that prevent us from taking action. We want to remove the free-floating memories from the original event that prevent us from having an emotional connection to knowledge. And we want to remove the free-floating memories from the original event that we are obligated to our karmic habits and beliefs. We want to remove the free-floating memories from the original event that prevent us from being present. And we want to remove the free-floating memories from the original event that prevent us from taking it to the next level. So again, when we're doing the free-floating memories, it's how it serves us, what it feels like to do it differently or to do it depending on the download, that it is possible and that it's safe. So if you would like those, just say yes out loud.
Yes, yes, yes.
We want to remove the free-floating memories from the original event that prevent us from being comfortable with being uncomfortable. We want to remove the free-floating memories from the original event that prevent us from having connection to our psychic powers. And we want to remove the free-floating memories from the original event that prevent us from turning our psychic information into knowledge. We want to remove the free-floating memories from the original event that prevent us from speaking with confidence. Let's see. We want to remove the free-floating memories from the original event that prevent us from utilizing everything that spirit brings in.
Mm.
We want to remove the free-floating memories from the original event that prevent us from having that appropriate objective response. We want to remove the free-floating memories from the original event that we're obligated to run from our fears. And we want to remove the feeling, we want to remove the free-floating memories from the original event that we want to remove the free-floating memories from the original event that our feelings are blocking us from where we need to move forward to. We want to remove the free-floating memories from the original event that prevent us from unlocking our full potential. And we want to remove the free-floating memories from the original event that cause us to be reactionary. Let's go ahead and do those, and then we'll have one shorter round to do. So if you would like those, and keep in mind that we are, once again, we are getting how it serves us, that we know what it feels like to do it or to do it differently, that it is possible and that is safe. As we are neutralizing those free-floating memories, we are removing them from that original trauma. So if you would like those, just say yes out loud.
Yes, 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 yes.
And then we want to remove the free-floating memories from the original event that prevent us from having the answers come from within. We want to remove the free-floating memories from the original event that prevent us from practicing inner reflection. We want to remove the free-floating memories from the original event that prevent us from having structure in our lives and in our world. We want to remove the free-floating memories from the original event that prevent us from being truth seekers. We want to remove the free-floating memories from the original event that prevent us from having our soul's desire. And we want to remove the free-floating memories from the original event that prevent us from understanding that we are powerful, perfect manifestations. So if you would like those, just say yes out loud.
Yes, 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 yes.
All right. Thanks for giving us a lot of food for thought here to work on, Ralph.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome.
And somehow we're still in that hour zone. Yay! So what's next, Ralph?
Well, that's all because of you, by the way, too, because I definitely was going to run us over, thinking, oh, okay. So what's next? So there was one thing that I wanted to kind of there was some very significant things when I looked at the chart for the full moon. And I shared that one significant where the inner planets were going past the north node and the outer planets weren't. But the thing that was also very significant for the moment of the full moon is that there was a bunch of planets and things at 18 degrees, like 5, significant. And so for the numerologists in the crowd, or anyone that's into numerology, or anyone that has planets of 18 degrees in their birth chart, it's a good time to look at it. What 18, or I guess that would be a 9. I'm not a numerologist. I dabble in it very, very lightly. I know a lot of them, so I kind of am exposed to it. All righty. So most of you know that I'm an astrocartographer, and some of you also might know that I have developed software that allows you to look at your astrocartography map. So astrocartography maps in the past have been one of the best ways to access this information. And my software, my humble opinion, is the best software out there to access your astrocartography information. But also being truthful, reading an astrocartography map, understanding what you're looking at is not that easy. And I try to make it as easy as possible with my service, but it's not that easy. So imagine if you could look anywhere on the map and click the map, and then up pops a report of a written description, which is generally pretty easy for most people, of just like read what's going on, not having to understand if you're close enough or not. It'll very clearly say, oh, you have a Jupiter line 10 miles west of this location. It has a strong influence on you. And you click the line title, and then up pops a video that describes what it is, and also written text. So just imagine if you were able to look anywhere on the planet, anytime you want, as many times as you want. Wouldn't that be cool? And
Yes, yes, yes.
yes, yes, yes. Oh, little of my own medicine are we getting? Gotta like that. Although you have to practice. That's not very enthusiastic. Yes, yes, yes. All right. So to not ramble on forever tonight, which I'm very capable of. I'm very energized and have a lot to say. So I am about to share with you a link that is.
I can share it if you'd like.
No, I have it. I have it. So
right on.
So what the link does is it takes you to an order page where you will be able to order and receive for free a product that I just am now releasing for the very first time at this gathering in the beta stage. And so beta meaning that a lot of there's some roughness around the edges. One of the good things is that it's a free product for you tonight. Most likely it'll be $50 when it's up for sale, but I don't know how I'm going to sell it, but I will sell it. And by getting it tonight, you will receive any of the updates that happen in the future. So it's kind of, it's a pretty cool thing. I'm hoping you like it. One thing that I would love to get in moderation is any feedback as far as usage, any issues you have, you know, the different devices. So if you have an issue or anything goes on, if you can email me what the issue is and the device that you're having, I would appreciate that. No obligation there. If there's ways in which you like it and ways in which you don't like it, I would love any of that input, no obligation. Really what I want is for you to use it, enjoy it. It's kind of a really cool thing. You're gonna literally be able to click anywhere on the planet and get your own unique astrocartography report. You'll have my videos, which are actually my interpretation of the line. One of the things that will be coming soon is that I will actually be using right now I'm not using my written interpretations. I borrowed those from someone else, and they're not really as in line with my beliefs as, or my experience as the videos. So you have both of those, and it's a pretty cool thing. So anyways, The trick is it's in the chat right now. If you copy the link, it should take you to the order page. I am going to keep this open probably for 24 hours. And so I want to kind of, here's what I'd like to offer. Your family, this is a gift for you and your family. I don't really want it to be kind of spread out to a large group of people.
So please do not post this on Facebook.
But you know, definitely family. You know, maybe a couple close friends. You know, but it's definitely a gift that I want to give to you as appreciating you joining and listening to me say yes, 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 and give me an audience to be silly, which is always appreciated. And
so the link is actually in the chat. So like where you've just entered, Chris, it's also in there, just like to, because it should be, it's actually, nobody sees it. Let's see, hold on, let's see what we can do about this. You guys should be able to see it.
oh, you know what it was? I'm
What?
sorry.
Hold on.
Well, I'm dyslexic, and so when I see all panelists, I see all participants. But it was all panelists and attendees.
Okay.
Come through it now? Yes. Yeah, I apologize. My dyslexic tendency tends to.
All good.
Good. Good.
I don't know why. I offered to do it for him, guys, and he wouldn't let me. All good. Good. So both you and I both posted.
Yes. Yes. Looks like we got a Q&A.
Okay, so everybody can see it now.
And you all are so welcome. And thank you so much for the birthday wishes. And so I'm hoping everyone's copied and pasted that. And then one other thing is that I have never had this number of people hit my website at one time and try to order something of this nature at one time that I'm aware of. So if anything weird happens, just go back a little bit later and start over. But hopefully everything will be good. And yeah. So everyone's got it? Anyone not able to get it off of the chat?
They've contacted me and I've taken care of it. Let's see. Wait, here's something in Q&A. Yes. Wow, how amazing and generous of you. Wow, thank you so much.
You are so welcome.
So, Janie, you're not seeing it still? I can message it to you. Is there anybody else? Because we have 21 people. So if you cannot see it, speak now or forever hold your peace. All right? I'll get that to you, Janie, no problem. All right. Because I know that some people have a hard time seeing chat sometimes, depending on where they're getting it from. So it's all good. All right?